And we are kicking off today with SummerSlam, and after the show, WWE held its post-show press conference, which have become the norm for the company's biggest events in recent years. Names including Cody Rhodes, LA Knight, and Damage Control were all part of the press conference, but one name conspicuous by his absence was Roman Reigns. Ringside News was able to confirm from a tenured member of the WWE team that Roman Reigns was scheduled for the media conference, but was pulled at the last minute. Reigns was pulled due to the injury he suffered during his tribal combat match with Jey Uso, requiring immediate attention, but there's still no word on what exactly happened to WWE's top star. While Reigns was pulled from the press conference, it's been said that this injury won't affect any creative plans for the tribal chief, and he is still expected on this week's episode of SmackDown. With Reigns' part-time schedule, the Universal Champion will have months to recover from this injury before his next match, so things could have been worse for the Tribal Chief and WWE. As for the Tribal Combat match, WWE actually changed their plans for the match at the last minute, as the match that WWE promoted ahead of SummerSlam was different than what fans saw. On WWE's website when the match was announced, it was made clear that no one could interfere in the Reigns vs. Jey match, so clearly neither Solo Sikoa nor Jimmy Uso got the memo. It's unclear when exactly WWE changed their decision on the rules of tribal combat, but between this change and Reigns' injury, what we saw was far different from what WWE had first planned. Pulling Reigns from the SummerSlam press conference was such a last-minute call that Byron Saxton accidentally announced Reigns for the talk, but it was instead only his special counsel Paul Heyman who appeared on the press conference. Heyman spoke at length about Reigns and the bloodline and how there is much more left to come, and while he was as calm and collected in front of the cameras, it wasn't the same backstage. A source in creative noted that Heyman was legitimately angry about this slip-up and would later tear into Byron backstage before dropping the matter. There's no reports of heat on either Saxton or Heyman, with the situation being chalked up to what happens when tensions are high due to Reigns' injury. Despite his injury, Reigns is set to appear this Friday, but unsurprisingly won't be competing on SmackDown, and the SummerSlam 2023 press conference certainly did not play out as WWE had hoped. Now, WWE has had more than its share of lawsuits over the years, with the company's legal head Jerry McDevitt taking on everyone from ex-superstars to promotions like MLW to even the federal government. Recently, Vince McMahon was served with a subpoena in the latest legal battle, and now a lawsuit surrounding Alexa Bliss has come to light. According to legal documents obtained by PW Insider, Dana Wiley is suing WWE, claiming a breach of contract after he allegedly paid $5,500 to meet Bliss in June, but the meetup didn't happen. From there, the handwritten suit grows even more farcical, claiming that Vince McMahon is in breach of contract after he agreed to give Wiley a WWE employee contract, which would have seen Wiley earn $70,000 a month. The suit claims that McMahon unfairly backed out of the deal after Wiley was arrested for homicide, though there's no evidence at this time of a contracted deal. Wiley is seeking compensation amounting to $6 million, aiming to cover the breach of contract and the reimbursement of all legal expenses, but this isn't his first time suing WWE. In the past, Wiley has claimed that he reached an agreement with WWE in 1995 for Wiley to have trademarks over DX and the NWO, saying he signed the documents on the steps to a courthouse in relation to a different case. There is zero evidence that Wiley has any claim to the New World Order or DX name, especially given that the NWO wouldn't exist until 1996, a year after Wiley's so-called deal, and it wouldn't be until late 1997 that DX was formed. That lawsuit was dismissed as completely without merit, and we expect this new suit to be the same, and we'll continue to follow this situation for further updates. In early 2019, Charlotte Flair and Andrade El Idolo began dating, and their relationship wasn't affected when Andrade was released from WWE and went on to join AEW. Earlier this year, the pair tied the knot, which led to Flair taking a lengthy break from WWE, but there may now be issues brewing in their marriage. On social media, the pair have unfollowed each other on multiple platforms and have not given any reason why, leading some to speculate that there is trouble between the two. If that wasn't enough, Ric Flair has also unfollowed his son-in-law, while Flair has taken a diamond ring emoji off her bio. This is quite the change for the couple, given that Flair has said in the past that she's more confident after marrying Andrade, and Andrade has been using his wife's figure 8 in matches on AEW Collision. Flair would respond with a tranquilo pose of her own during a match, and while the pair were all smiles during this year's Hall of Fame, things may be far from pleasant between the couple right now. But what do you make of the situation surrounding Charlotte, Andrade, and the Nature Boy? Share your views in the comments. Over to All In, as AEW's biggest ever event is now mere weeks away, and this week's Dynamite saw a huge match get added to the card. During the show, Sting made his return to AEW TV, busting up Swerve Strickland's big plan for the Mogul Embassy to take over, and now a morbid tag team match has been made. It's been confirmed that Sting, alongside Darby Allin, will face Strickland and AR Fox in a Coffin match, a stipulation that AEW has used a handful of times before. While some have called AEW out for its imitation of WWE's casket match, this will be a huge match, and fans in the UK will no doubt be thrilled at the notion of getting to see the Stinger in action. AEW All In will be the company's biggest ever event by quite some margin, and we'll have to see which side emerges victorious in this upcoming tag team coffin match. Are you excited to see the coffin match at All In, or would you have picked a different match for the icon? Let us know down in the comments. This week's Dynamite also saw a segment between Adam Cole and MJF, and things got a little testy between the two friends. When MJF misread the situation and questioned if Cole wanted to have a promo battle, the AEW World Champion had quite the line, referencing one of the all-time greats of the industry. Speaking about Cole with an exaggerated diss promo, MJF said that Cole is so ghostly pale white that, quote, "If this was the 80s, Hogan would have snorted ya." This dig at the Hulkster did not go unnoticed by the fans in attendance, who reacted loudly to the champ, but Cole had a comment of his own regarding All In. The 2022 Owen Hart Men's Tournament winner went on to suggest that he and MJF challenge for the ROH World Tag Team titles on All In's 0 Hour show, an idea that MJF wasn't thrilled by. While fans in Columbus loved the idea, MJF wasn't on board with the idea of wrestling twice in London, and could this be the start of the MJF-Cole split? Only time will tell. Earlier this year, Maxine Dupri parted ways with Massey and Mansois to align herself with Alpha Academy in a decision that has received a ton of support from fans. The trio of Maxine, Chad Gable, and Otis has been a hit with audiences, but now a major change may be coming for the two models Dupri left behind. Fightful's Sean Ross Sapp reports that there have been internal talks within WWE about repackaging the Maximum Male models, and that these talks picked up again during SummerSlam weekend. There's no word on what the team would be repackaged as, but neither Massey nor Mansois have seen much action since they split with Dupri earlier in the year. WWE will often repackage a team if they feel that the current gimmick isn't working, which seems to be the case right now, and we'll have to see what WWE has in store for the Maximum Male models. But what would you repackage Massey and Mansois as? Or do you think they are right just the way they are? Sound off in the comments. And we're ending today with Logan Paul, who later this year will make his return to boxing to face Dillon Danis, who hasn't wasted any time getting in the head of the WWE superstar. On social media, Danis posted a photo of Logan Paul's fiancé Nina Agdal kissing another guy, tongues and all, but it's unclear when exactly this kiss took place or if Paul and Agdal were seeing each other. Danis' tweet did earn some backlash, with some arguing that it was uncalled for to demean Agdal just to try and play mind games with Paul, and we imagine the Maverick will be hungry for revenge when they fight.